traveling to carry out these orders, Saul met Jesus along the way. This was a life-changing moment in which Saul received the revelation of Jesus as Lord and Messiah. Saul, who was later known as Paul, when telling others about this event, said that those who traveled with him saw the light shining around him and around them. Yeah. They didn't, however, hear the voice that he heard. The words to Saul were, "I am Jesus, yes, of Nazareth, whom you persecute." It is hard for you to kick against the pricks. Yeah. Paul says in that moment, the glory of the light blinded him. He couldn't see again until Ananias prayed for him in Damascus. Yes, the Lord knows how to show up in your life. The Lord knows how to speak direct words to you. Yes, the Lord knows how to get your attention and bring you to the place where you recognize him as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Like it was with Saul, God can disrupt and change your plans. God can deal with you while you're on the way to carry out your own agenda. He can give you thoughts and desires that interfere with what you had planned to do. Yeah. Oh yeah, he can put you in a situation in which you have no choice but to listen to him. Oh yeah, he can stir you up. Move you to make your commitment to him. Yeah. Oh, yes, he can. Yeah. I remember the days gone by when I was involved in prison ministry and going to the county jail at least once a month. Yeah. And I remember one gentleman who said that he lived a reckless life. And while he was out in the streets, he was so busy and gave his time and his attention to many things and things that were not helpful to him or to the people that he engaged. But he says that by being in the county jail, he had time and he had time to think. And in that county jail, he said, God spoke to me that it was time for him to give his life to God. Yes, oh yeah, God can speak in such a way that you know that is nobody but the Lord. God can get your attention in such a way that you know that it's time to hear what thus saith the Lord. Oh yeah, he can stir you up. He can move you to make your commitment to him. Paul authoritatively declares, the day you hear God's voice, don't you harden your heart. You might as well recognize that God is real. Yes, sir. And that he wants to do something wonderful in your life. You can serve God with the power that he gives you to do his will. You can submit to God's authority and say, what will you have me to do? Oh yeah, it's a wonderful thing to realize that God cares so much about you. He cares enough to be able to stop you in your tracks and to let you know that there is a better way. Yes, sir. He cares enough to stop you before you go on and do something from which you cannot return. His grace is sufficient to lift you and to turn you around. In Acts chapter 22, which is another account of Saul's Damascus trip conversion, Ananias communicates a few things to Saul. He tells Saul that God has chosen him for the work that must be done.
Yes, sir.
Ananias specifically states that God wanted Saul to know God's will. He wanted Saul to see the just one, that is Jesus, on the Damascus road. God wanted Saul to hear the voice of his mouth. When I think about that statement, it is powerful to me that God can so determine and design a divine encounter for you, that God can determine that this is the moment that you will know his will.
Yes, sir.
That God can determine that this is the moment that you will have an encounter with the Lord.